Right, tabs. Now this for some reason often causes problems for learners, and it might be that we do it in grade 10 and perhaps not emphasize it enough in grade 11 and grade 12. But if you actually understand what you're doing, I think it makes life a lot easier, as most things are. The idea with tabs is that they can be used to line things up. So for example, here I'm just going to use this to indicate that column, if I'd like to recall, those items are lined up on the right hand side. Similar over here, that these are lined up on the right hand side, or you could also say they're also lined up under the decimal point as well. Okay, there's two ways of lining that lot up. Whereas these, that's not left or right or anything, but they are. If you put a line down the middle, you can see that that would be line down more or less down the center. Okay, so here we would use a right tab to line these up over here because they're lined up on their right hand side. Similarly, these I would use a right tab or a decimal tab, and here I would use a center tab to set them. And these ones have these little doikies, these little breadcrumbs after them, which we call tab leaders, so we mustn't forget that. Okay, now it says we must get this text to look like that using tabs. In other words, we do not use the space bar to line up. You cannot line text up using the space bar. But it doesn't tell me where to set these tabs. Well, we use our corp and we say, right, we need to spread it out a little bit. It doesn't have to be exact. It gives an idea. Sometimes they will tell you exactly what tab settings to use. They might say at 6 centimeters do this, then you have to do the exact settings. Okay, yeah, I'm going to say let's line up our items here first of all at around about 4 centimeters. In other words, the data projector, and that will be lined up around about here at about 4 centimeters. What we'll then look at here is lining that up at about say 7 centimeters, just to give an idea. So 4 and 7, and this a little bit further across, say at, I don't know, let's make it 13 centimeters. So 4, 7 and 13 roughly is the sort of where we're going to line it up. It doesn't need to be exact. Remember, this is just a diagram as well. So we just need to get the tab settings right. We don't have to be exact because they haven't given us exact settings. Right, couple of important items here. First of all, where do I get the tabs? I go to paragraph, I go down to tabs at the bottom, and the first thing I do is I clear any tabs that are there. It's so easy to have left a tab behind, and it's like a landmine that's going to blow up in your face. Rather get rid of them first. And then I set my tabs. I'm going to say, right, we said the first one we wanted to be a right tab. Okay, like down over here, a right tab set against the right hand side. And we said we'd set it at 4 centimeters and we'd make it a right tab. And don't forget to click set. Okay, I'm not finished yet. The other one we said around about 7, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, 7 should be fine, I think. 7 centimeters, and I want it to be a center tab, and I'm going to set it. And the other one I was going to make it around about 13, and I want it to be a right tab, and I must also have these little dotty leader things in front. Now you can see they've used that one there. It isn't that one there, it's that one there that they've used. And you click set and you click OK, and absolutely nothing happens. Your worst nightmare. That's because we still got to press the tab key. Now I'm going to put the show hide on to show that I have not pressed the tab key. Now when you press the tab key, remember a little arrow appears. I'll take that off eventually. In fact, let me take it off now, and then I'll show you afterwards how the tabs appeared. So I've just positioned my cursor in front of data projector and I've pressed tab. Nothing happens. Folks, please don't panic and carry on pressing the tab key. You know, it's kind of like when you're waiting for the lift to come down and it doesn't come fast enough. You carry on pressing, not going to help. You've done it once, that's enough. Okay, that's quite tricky sometimes to realize that. Yeah, it'll sort itself out. Now I position the cursor again in front of audio visual products. I press tab, and you might say, well, okay, that still hasn't sorted itself out, but we're getting there. And then finally over there, and you can see it only on when I did the final item, it sorted itself out. So don't panic if it doesn't sort itself out. Sometimes people press tab a couple of times and then it causes all sorts of problems. Again, I press tab, nothing appears to have happened except that I have put a tab setting in there, and we can actually go and check that. Okay, you can go and check whether you actually put it press tab or not. In fact, I didn't in this case, so that's a good way of always checking that you can check to see that it works. In fact, I'll do it here. I'll leave it on now so you can see what's happening. Oh, there was a tab. Sorry, I had pressed tab. You see, so you've got to be very careful with that. Okay, I've pressed the tab there, and I've pressed the tab there, and I'll do the same for this one here as well. I'm going to click on easels there, which was DB suppliers. So in other words, there's a single tab. I've pressed tab once in front of each of the different items. I'm going to switch it off so that we can see a little bit more clearly how it works, and there we go. Okay, the nice thing about it now is that if I highlight those things and I think, okay, I'd actually like this to come a little bit further back, I can do that. I can even change the types of the tabs that I want as well. So if I decide now that that's not the tab leader that I want, making sure that you've got all the lines highlighted, folks, and I think that's a critical thing, is that you must have all the lines highlighted when you're setting your tabs. And I go back down to tabs and I say, right, for this 13 centimeter one, I don't like that tab leader, I actually want a solid line, and I can say set, okay, and the solid line will be there. Yeah, these are commonly asked, and it's a great way of not only for exam questions, but it's a great way of just laying out your work very neatly, particularly you've got to put things in columns and you're not using tables as such. Okay, please never the space bar. So we know where you live.